to do, which is always very important regardless of what colour shadow you're using, but it's very important if you're planning on using red eyeshadow, is you want to apply a really good base. So I've used Urban Decay's Primer Potion, and the reason for that is that especially with red, they do have a tendency to stain your skin. So if you put a barrier between your skin and the shadow, that probably won't happen. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking a synthetic Kim brush. It's just a flat shader brush, so it's very, very flat, quite like a paddle brush. And this is the 122. And the reason I'm going to use a synthetic brush for this is because I don't want to stain my other brushes. So, and I find with this, it kind of just moves loose eyeshadows around a little bit better. Even though it's a synthetic brush, it does tend to just kind of place them where you want them placed without absorbing them into the brush. I'm now going to be taking that brush and the Barry & Dazzle Dust in 47. Now this is a very, very true red. It's really beautiful. You also want to make sure that if you, you go out and get something red to put on your eyes and eyeshadow, you want to make sure it's eye safe, because they're not always. This one is. So I'm just going to take, to begin with, I'm going to take a small amount on this one side of the brush. I'm going to tap it off into the lid. Just like that. It's important to tap it off because it's synthetic, it won't stick to the bristles as well. So once I've got my base on and it's kind of become a little sort of dry, I'm just going to start patting that on. Just in the middle, and then I'm going to work it over gradually, covering all of my eyelids. Now what we're going to do is we are going to be taking another Kim brush. This is also a synthetic brush, and it's just an angle brush. It's the Kim 131. Just looks like that, just a rather sharp, very fine pointed angle brush. That's what you want. And I'm going to be taking the colour Night Fever from Nars. The reason I'm using this is because it is a beautiful black, but it also has red sparkles in it. It's not glitter, it's red sparkles, and I really don't want to just use a flat black because I don't want to knock out the red with it. So I'm going to be taking that on my angle brush. And this is rather pigmented, this one, so you want to make sure that you kind of put it in and then tap it off on the side. Now, to get the shape that we've got here that I did with the black, what you're going to do is you're going to start just below your crease, just like this, and draw it on. And it's pretty simple. You just want to sketch out the outline that you want. Then we're going to take what's left. I'm going to start here, and this is going to help sketch out what you want. And I just find this is a little bit more precise than just going in, with a flat brush and just throwing a load of black eyeshadow all over the place. It just helps it to be more precise. Just like that for starters. Now, once you've done that, you want to take a smaller brush. I'll be using this one. It's just a very small L'Oreal brush. I'm going to take the same Night Fever from Nars, and you want to fill in, obviously, these little gaps here and join it up. So I'm going to take a little bit of that shadow and just put it in between where you've got the join. You don't want to bring it too far into the rest of the red, so just a tiny little portion just to help join those lines together. Now you're going to take your angled brush. I'm not going to put anything on it. I'm just going to use this just as a tool. I'm just going to go underneath here, starting at the outer corner, work it up just to kind of meet the same point of my eyebrow, if you see what I mean. Like that. And we'll sort that out in a minute. Now I'm going to take the angle brush, I'm going to put a little bit of the Nars on it, and just fill in any gaps where I feel that there's some red peeking through. Just want to fill that in. So that's what you should have right about now. Now for the glitter that I've got on my eyelid. I am going to be using just a flat brush. This one is a L'Oreal brush that came with the shadow paint, so any brush will do, or a concealer brush will work. I'm going to spray it with my floral water, so it's just water and rosemary in it. I'm going to spray some of that. You can use like Fix Plus or something if you've got something like that. Spray it a little bit and then tap the excess off on the back of my hand. I don't want it too wet. And I'm going to be using a MAC Pro glitter, and this one is just their red glitter. It's absolutely stunning, absolutely stunning. You also want to make sure that the glitter is eye safe. I don't have sensitive eyes, so being a bit naughty. I think this is all right, but anyway, it's a MAC Pro glitter, just in case you're interested. So I'm going to take a little bit of that glitter on the brush that I just wet, see? And I'm just going to pat that in the centre over the red. Now for the highlights, I'm going to use a kind of a different technique for the highlight. I've lost my brush, so I'm going to use it as well. Here it is. Yeah, I'm going to do a different technique. As you can see, it's gold. So I'm going to be using Gosh Effect Powder in Glamour, and it is gold, and pretty much it's just gold glitter. It's more finely milled than glitter, but it's not really a shadow in itself. It is just gold. So I'm going to be taking some of that on a Pro Makeup brush, number 7, just a flat shader brush. Tap some of that off. Like that. I'm just going to be placing that under the brow and just bringing it down. You want to avoid kind of getting it on the black, so you just want to put it just pretty much quite high up and then just gently bring it down. But because it's kind of a finely milled glitter, you can't really make a mistake with it. Now for lashes, which is really what brings the kind of look together. I'm going to be using the Girls with Attitude Extensions lashes, and then come in a packet that looks like this. And they look like that. They are massive. They are absolutely massive, as you can see. They are huge, but they're so, so stunning, and they just make the look just so much more dramatic as if it could possibly be. So I'm going to apply those, and then I'm going to seal it just with a clear mascara. I'm not going to cover them in mascara because I like to use my lashes a couple of times and they get all kind of funny. So I'm just going to put these on. I'm going to seal it with a clear mascara, seal them in with the rest of my lashes, and then I'll be back to show you the rest of the look. So that's the finished eye. All I've done was apply a kohl pencil to my waterline. This is by MeMeMe. It's their eyelines pencil. I just did that, and then I applied underneath the lower lash line a little bit of the Barry M Red, and just at the very outer portion I applied some of the Nars Night Fever. That was it. And the mascara I put on my lower lashes was the Royal Theme Unlimited Lash, and that's pretty much it. That's the eye. And also those beautiful lashes, which are just, oh, they're stunning. They're really, really beautiful. And because they curl up at the sides, they really elongate the whole shape of the makeup, so it's very, very flattering. Now for cheeks, I'm going to be contouring, and from the pictures that I've seen of Indian Bridal Makeup and Indian Brides, they contour quite heavily, which I think is very, very flattering. So I'm going to be using quite a dark contour colour. This is Bellaforia's Mahogany. And I'm going to be taking that on a, oh, if I can open it. I'm going to be taking that on quite a stiff angled brush. This is an LA Minerals. I'm going to take a little bit of that and just start pretty much creating where I want my contour to be. And as I said, this is really, really quite fierce, this colour. It's very, very dark, but it's very flattering because it's quite tan. And then for blush, I'm going to be using First Light's Mineral Blush in Sundowner, and it is this beautiful, it's a very, very beautiful kind of red pink. It's actually got quite like a violety blue undertone to it, if you can see. It's really beautiful. It's very potent. It just looks like that. I'm going to be using that on an angle brush as well, just so I can kind of control where it goes. I'm just going to put that just here and blend that into my contour. Now, based on the picture that I used to kind of inspire me to do these, this look and these colours, these are very traditional Indian Bridal Makeup colours, the gold and the red. I've seen that they use a lot of the time, they actually team like a red and a gold eye with a red lip, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to be doing a red lip. The first thing I'm going to do is outline and fill in my lips with Youngblood's lip pencil in Truly Red. It looks like this. A lot of the time, I've also seen that they overline their lips. I'll get there in a minute. So they actually do go quite far outside their natural lip line. I'm not going to do that because I do have quite defined lip line anyway. Just like that, so it has a nice base for it to stick to. And then I'm going to use my favourite red lipstick in the entire world is amazing. It's so beautiful, so flattering, and it'll suit everyone. This is Lancome's Le Rouge Absolu in 130 Rouge Desire. And it looks like this. It's very, very pretty. Now, I'm going to start kind of layering it on with a lip brush. If I can find my lip brush, yeah. I'm going to start layering it on with a lip brush because then it will just give a little bit more depth when I come to put it on straight from the tube. So I'm going to take a little bit of that on my brush just to kind of sketch out. And this creates a nice stain. And then I'm just going to apply it straight from the tube. And then, because the lips are very rarely kind of just matte and one-dimensional, I'm going to be putting just a little bit of gloss over the top of this just to kind of, I don't know, just bring it more into focus. I'm going to be using the Revlon Super Lustrous Lip Gloss in limited edition Pink Promise. It's actually red. Don't know why it's called Pink Promise. And I'm just going to take some of that on a lip brush. Kind of dab that in the centre just so it gives a nice shimmer, a nice sheen. I hope you enjoyed that. That is my take on an Indian bridal makeup. I researched it and looked at the pictures, and these are the traditional colours: gold and the red, and a lot of times, of course, because they use coal, black as well. So yeah, I'm going to do a couple more of these because I found some really beautiful, kind of inspiring photographs that I just adore. So I'm going to do a couple more, you know, different lips and stuff. So if you don't want to do red lips, then that's totally okay. But I thought I would just stay very traditional because it was requested that I do an Indian bridal makeup using reds. So that's what I've done. So that's the look. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I'll post all the products that I use down below for reference, so if you missed anything you can go and have a look down there. And yeah, I'll also post a picture that I use for inspiration down below as well, so you can kind of see what I was going for. Yeah, more tutorials soon. Thanks for subscribing if you have, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.